Biggie, biggie, biggie on the mic. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up.
Listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows, yo. The vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud.
We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe.
Yo, Biggie, break it down, break it clear. No filter, no lie, just sincere.
Follow Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up.
We talk about money, we talk about pain. The pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talk about love, about family ties. All the good and all the lies.
We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language.
We're building a bridge over the storm. Keep it steady, keep it warm.
Follow Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. So let's light things up. So let's light things up.
From the suburbs to the skyline, from the sunrise to the shine.
We're turning the page, turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage.
Biggie on mic with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love. We talk about hope like a dove.
We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme. We'll light the way through the night. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything, get it till what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. So let's light things up.
Live. Biggie, 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 biggie on the mic.
Hey, right.
We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything in here. Foul, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. You're Biggie, dig it out.
Break it down,
Break it clear.
break it clear.
No filter, no lie, just sincere. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything in here, what's up? It's Biggie time, so let's light things off. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything in here, what's up? It's Biggie time, so let's light things off. We talk about money, we talk about pain. The pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talks about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm. Keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything in here, what's up? It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything in here, what's up? It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, yeah. From the sunrise to the shine. We're turning the page, turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic, with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love. We talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme, keep the rhyme. We'll light the way through the night. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and get a teacup. It's Biggie time, so let's light things off. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Live. Biggie, 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 Biggie on the mic. Hey, right. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Yeah. Listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows, yo. The vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, dig it out, break it down, break it clear, no filter, no lie, just sincere. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things off. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things off. We talk about money, we talk about pain. The pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talks about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm. Keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, yeah. From the sunrise to the shine. We're turning the page, we'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic, with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme, we'll light the way through the night. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and get a teacup. It's Biggie time, so let's light things off. Follow Biggie, 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 hit it like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Live. Biggie, 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 Biggie on the mic. Hey, right. Yeah, yeah. Biggie, Biggie, Biggie on the mic. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows, yo. The vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, break it down, break it clear. No filter, no lies, just sincere. Follow Biggie, Biggie, Big. Hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. So let's light things up. So let's light things up. We talk about money, we talk about pain. The pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talk about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm. Keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, Biggie, Big. Hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. So let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, from the sunrise to the shine. We're turning the page, we'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world? No fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope. Like
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Biggie Let's Talk episode 51. We've got past the halfway point, 50. Anyway, hope everyone's good, hope everyone's well. In this nippy evening in the UK, I'm sure it's nice and bright wherever Craig is. But I'm with a gentleman today who's got a story and a half. So he was at the World Trade Center when 9/11 attacks happened in 2001, I believe. Craig will confirm that for me. I think it was 2001. And since then, he's since the attacks, he's got lung cancer from all the toxic and the dust and everything. As you can imagine, the amount of dust that was there. But we're going to get into the story with Craig now. So I'm going to bring Craig on now. Mr. Craig.
Hey,
Welcome,
Biggie, how you
Craig.
doing, man?
I'm good, my friend. Yourself?
Fantastic. Thanks for the
Let
opportunity.
me turn up. Nah, you're most welcome. Thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate that. How you doing? Are you good?
Yeah, I am.
How's the
A little
recovery doing?
Actually, really well. You know, it's been 13 years, so you know, I'm getting over that hump, and you know, just delivering my message to humanity.
Perfect. That's fantastic. Okay, so this for anyone that don't know you, who you are, do you want to just give a quick intro to yourself?
Sure. My name is Craig Sotkovsky. I was a 9/11 respondent to the World Trade Center. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I'm a published author, mindset coach, and I'm here to deliver a message to humanity. And my message to humanity is simple in its complexity. We don't have time, man. We have to learn how to execute on everything now.
100%, brother. Okay, so turning the clock back, where were you that day when the attacks happened? Where exactly were you?
I was in downtown Jersey City on First Street, and walking distance to the Hudson River. And when I walked out of my house, I saw that one of the towers was smoking. So I
Wow.
ran around the corner. I had another house around the corner, so I ran around there to get my fiance at the time, and she was a photographer. And I had told her, I was like, grab your gear and let's go. And by the time we got down to the river, the second one was already on fire.
Amazing. And what was the scenes like at the time? Just taking you back. Was obviously there must have been panic, left, right, and center. People going crazy.
It looked like a movie set. It looked like
Yeah.
you know, a catastrophic movie set.
Jurassic
People
Park or
screaming
something.
and yeah, it was just beyond chaos. It was really profound and surreal. And you know, we were down there, and she was asking me like, so what do you think is going to happen? And I was like, you know, I figured like the top part of the one tower is going to like fall over, and that's not what happened. We watched it actually implode, and she had so many pictures of this thing coming down. And then the cops started screaming for everybody to run, and we started, you know, like moving away real fast because we thought the towers were going to actually fall into the Hudson River. And you know, things just got very crazy. So we ran back to this place called Liberty State Park, and as we were walking there, that's when the second one came down.
Wow.
And when we got to Liberty, and she has those pictures as well. And when we got to Liberty State Park, people started coming off on boats and stuff. And it seemed like 10, 15 minutes, but we know it was like an hour, 45
Yeah.
minutes, something like that, right? Because you lose time. And people started coming off, and they were bleeding, powder all over them. And I was just like, I need to get there because I've been construction my whole life. So I figured I needed to get there, and I eventually did.
And at the time, was there like pieces falling out of the sky, like rocks and whatnot?
It was like, so you really couldn't see anything other than cloud, right?
Dust. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. It definitely was. And I still think about this, like I stood on top of the World Trade Center after it fell.
Wow.
That numbs my head sometimes.
Okay, so can you just break it down? What you were exposed to? What gave you the cancer?
So I had a very rare carcinoid cancer. That's why it's one of the direct cancers from 9/11. And I ended up getting a carcinoid tumor in my between my upper and mid lobe. So they took my middle and lower lobe out. However, that being said, I was walking around with a collapsed lobe of my right lung for 5 years.
Wow.
And that really it really got me interested in finding out what was wrong with me. I ended up getting pneumonia. I ended up getting pleurisy. I ended up getting sick every now and again. And it was, you know, I was telling my ex-wife at the time, I was like, there's no reason why somebody has to walk around in this kind of pain. And I really didn't understand it. And it wasn't until 2017 when they diagnosed me with carcinoid tumor in my lung. And I ended up with a 9-hour surgery, and they had cut through my ribs and cut my nerves, and I was living in excruciating pain for 6 years after the surgery.
So when did you first notice like symptoms?
2012. Yeah, it was 2012. And the thing is, people used to tell me like you need to talk to these lawyers and all of that, and I was like, I was only there for 2 days, man.
Yeah.
However, that being said, you needed to be first 5 days. I think it was 4 hours you needed to be there, and I was there 2 days of the first 5 days, so I hit the wrong lotto. And what I realized as time has gone by is that we can be resilient if we want to be. However, that being said, it's going to take a lot of pain. You got to sit in your darkness. You have to sit in all of that turmoil, chaos, and in order to transmute who you are now, like you have to become the person ahead of the event. And as I was getting surgeries and procedures over the years, I used to meditate and talk to whatever was going to be operated on before it did,
Yeah.
to find out how resilient our body is. Because when you start talking to your body when you have illness and sickness, um, it's very interesting how the human body can actually heal itself. And I find it really interesting that I've been able to heal myself over the years and continue. And
But
this
I
is
think it's amazing how you always like jolly and you're always chirpy. I read your Facebook posts; they're always kind of like humorous. So the fact that you're still like there and you're still cracking jokes and you can have a joke about it now is fantastic.
well, I think human nature is by design is interesting because we're born into fight, flight, and freeze.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand, like you look at all of these everybody wants to be, for the most part, cheered on by all this external validation. And I've been very fortunate to be rich and poor, and rich is always better. However, that being said, are we really wealthy? Because I know a lot of
True.
really rich people that as soon as they close their front door, they're miserable as hell. And and as time goes on, you start to realize like how miserable people really are. And most parents, for the most part, they try to pass their failures down to their children, especially in certain cultures, in the hopes of those failures become the kids' successes. And it
True.
just leaves them with so much toxicity in their mindset.
100%. Okay, at the time, how did it make you feel emotionally and mentally? Because you must have been drained.
Oh, PTSD, absolutely. I was having like really bad dreams and stuff. It- and here's the thing that really, like, I'm looking back now over the years, and what was it, 3 years after that, like I still wasn't dealing with 9/11. 3 years after that, me and my ex-wife, we had a real estate portfolio of 30 doors, approximately 30 doors, and we
Yeah.
got hit by two hurricanes in 3 weeks that
Wow.
really messed us up, and I had to deal with that too. And it was like, but I didn't really deal with the first part. And PTSD or CPTSD is needs to be dealt with. You know, humans have this
Definitely.
breaking point, and I was at my breaking point.
Mental health is massive.
Oh yeah, especially for guys, because what I do, like I needed to rely on my old stories of being molested as a kid, as being a drug addict, as going bankrupt, a previous divorce, to tap into getting over that PTSD, to
Yeah.
really understand the resilience of the human body. And I've just mastered myself. And I believe most people need to master themselves to get out of their own way. And once you
Because
do
obviously,
that, you're
guys like to just sweep it under the carpet and have that little big macho kind of thing and think, oh, nothing's going to happen. Don't worry.
oh, absolutely. And what happens? Nobody gets in touch with
Then you
their
break
emotions.
down.
Yeah, you start shutting down, you start doing crazy things, you start looking at life differently. So you're constantly in this emotional state of being a child in an adult body. And, that's who we are, honestly.
Oh,
We're children in adult bodies.
okay. What was that conversation like when you had to break it down to the family that you've been diagnosed? That must have been a
Well,
bit crazy as well, huh?
it was the story's pretty crazy because the doctor told me in the ER that I had a malignant tumor in front of my 11-year-old daughter and my ex-wife at the time. My first instinct was to throat punch him, and I'm glad I didn't. I mean, because there's a lot of people that shouldn't be in the healthcare industry. I
Yeah, of
was
course.
told, I was told 4 different times that I was going to be treated for cancer, and they only write once. However, I got the scars for all 4 times, and this is something that it really needs to be redirected in the medical industry. People need to be re-educated on how to speak to people, and that's why
I
I
thought
became
that's
a
what they
patient
do.
advocate.
I thought they were meant to take you to another room or to the side of it, just like you and maybe your next of kin or maybe someone important like your partner, and then
Like that, you're
break the
next.
news to them, or like not your next of kin but your partner, and then take you there and then say, okay, Mr. Joe Blogs, this is what your problem is, not in front of your child and your the rest of the ward.
You would believe that, but however, I mean, look, the Earth closed for 2 years, so
True.
all bets are off in every industry.
So when you were in hospital, how many people were there, like affected with 9/11 kind of like injuries?
Oh God! Right now, there's tens of thousands that are sick and dying, and I'm one of them, and nobody really cares. I actually had to move to Mexico because they wanted $1,900 a month just for my medical, like a $10,000 deductible.
Really
And I could live in Mexico for $1,900 a month and still go to the best doctors in the world, probably. You
brilliant.
know, yeah, yeah, it is. It's a crazy environment.
Okay, so you were diagnosed. So I'll take it you had chemo. Is that right?
No, actually, I had a rigid and flexible bronchoscopy first, where they nicked my tumor, and that almost killed me. I
Yeah.
was in the hospital for like 7 to 10 days, and then I ended up having a bilobectomy, where they took my mid and lower lobe, my right lung out in a 9-hour surgery, and that was one of the surgeries where my body just stopped working, and they couldn't give me any drugs, and I woke up screaming going into the recovery room.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole recovery thing was pretty wild itself.
I was just about to say. So what was the toughest part of the treatment? Was it that?
It's still ongoing. I feel it's been since 2017, so we're talking 9 years now. Going to be 9 years in October, and I still every day, every minute, every day, I feel like somebody's stepping on my ribs. However, that pain has subsided tremendously because I was in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
And that's really how I started discovering epigenetics and understanding how to shut the pain barrier off. Because the morphine, the Dilaudid, the Percocet, Percodan, all the pills that I was taking wasn't shutting down the pain. So I
Okay.
had to
So
learn a
what was
different
it
way.
like at the time? So you've obviously you said your ex partner took pictures afterwards. When you saw it on the television, what was it like then?
I wasn't watching television at the time.
Good move.
You shut down certain things. One of the best things I've ever done was shut off the TV because that'll bring triggers on you if you haven't worked on your triggers.
Yeah, I was going to
And
say because if you like to watch, just say if you're watching a television program now and it's the same date, and they're having some kind of like anniversary edition of the Twin Towers, and then you see a plane gun, and you're like, whoa, that must just mess your mind up.
no, I just don't have any emotional attachment to it.
Fair enough.
And that's one of the things I pride myself on is being able to separate the emotional attachment to past circumstances and events. Because as I tell people, 9/11, yeah, it was a wild event, but that wasn't the only event in my life that
It's
really brought
true.
me down to
Yeah.
my knees.
Okay, what role does spirituality and mindset or personal belief play in your recovery? Because you said you're talking to your body, you're meditating and everything.
100% in. I mean, I learned about epigenetics a couple years, I would say like a couple years out of the surgery. And I started studying epigenetics really hard. And then when I started to realize in this one incident that changed my life forever, I was actually going into the doctor's office and they took x-rays and the doctor was like, "Hey, have you ever had a bad x-ray?" And I was like, whatever I'm like 2 years out after the surgery, right? And I was like, whatever she's gonna say isn't gonna change the way I smile, is not gonna change my day, none of that. And it come to find out, and this is really why I don't come to conclusions anymore, is because she was like, "Oh, you have this cloud and all of that." She didn't even have my original paperwork that showed that I had my mid and lower lobe, my right lung taken
Yeah.
out. So she thought I had cancer. I was like, "Yeah, I did a couple years ago. It's long gone." And I just realized I was like, you know what? I mean, nobody knows anything about anything, man. So we're always delusional in our
So
head,
guesswork, isn't it?
worrying about crap that doesn't even happen.
It's true.
And it progressively made me think about human behavior even more and my behavior more so than anything.
Okay,
get
so
out of
when
that.
you when you do you have you? There must be a group of you like 9/11 survivors, or so. Do you speak to other people?
Oh, thousands. Yeah, I know. I know at least 100 people that are dead.
Dead.
Yeah, dead people sick and dying right now.
What about people that like survived, like you?
So I didn't survive 9/11. I survived 9/11 World Trade Center cancer, right?
Yeah.
So I actually went there as a volunteer, and I was
So
only
were
there for
you?
2 days.
So you were one of the first responders.
Well, at the time, you have to be called volunteer because a first responder is a cop and fireman.
Yeah.
I have to be. I used to have to be very careful with my language. However, the Justice Department said that I was a 9/11 responder. I had to prove that, and I did. And now I can call myself a 9/11 World Trade Center responder.
Fantastic. Okay, so how will surviving cancer change your life today?
So I think I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, okay, and I've been through a lot of crazy stuff that little kids shouldn't have to go through. And what I realized was I I sat in darkness for a really long time, and and I needed to see the light inside of myself. And once I started to see that, my whole world changed. This is why I encourage people to do the work on themselves, to change the way they view themselves,
Hmm.
and to bring themselves to an entirely different level of understanding who they are.
Okay, when
Most
you said you were an entrepreneur before, what were you doing? Property.
Oh yeah, no, I've been importing, exporting. Uh, I might have just went off on a little bit of a tangent. So being an entrepreneur my whole life helped me fight cancer, and I believe beating cancer has made me a better entrepreneur. And this is
Yeah,
one of the things because you have to really take your accountability and responsibility to everything that happens in your life
definitely.
in order to get rid of that emotional attachment to stories. Very
O-
important.
Okay, so what seems important? What seemed important then, but is not important now?
Life. Everybody hustling and bucking and weaving and Matt, let me explain something. When we tap into this thing called the quantum field, right? We
Yeah.
tap into this thing called the reticular activating system. And once we do that, the reticular activating system, all it wants to do is please us. Okay? So if you have crappy thoughts about you, or there's false positivity now that people are referring to, thinking about unicorns and rainbows and life's going to be so good. Well, you know what? That literally 5% of our conscious thought. 95% of everything that we do is run off our subconscious behavior,
Yeah.
right? So that's all our habits. And that's all of those pre programmed wiring from our families and friends and all that 0 to 8 years old, all of those things that actually you go through in your programming, right? The Jesuits used to say, show me the child and I'll show you the adult because we are children in adult bodies. And
100%.
we have to retrain ourselves in order to think different and be different. A lot of people, they don't want to become themselves because they're actually afraid to do that deep, dark work. Right. And this is the reason why I tell people all the time, people I usually piss off my clients because I'm holding a mirror to their face. Right. And you got to do the deep, dark work. You have to explore yourself in
True.
order to be better for yourself.
Okay, what was it like for your family? Because you said you had a daughter that was at the time at the hospital. What was it like for the family while you were going through your treatment and everything?
Devastating, man. We sold everything multiple times. We went bankrupt. We went, just everything that you could think of about having a crappy life. That was our life. Like I used to believe that I failed my ex and my daughter simply because I was sick. So I used to be a high achiever and I couldn't even pay the light bill. What kind of loser
Yeah,
was I, right? So
I can
so I'm
imagine.
like looking at myself and expressing myself, self-loathing, self-sabotaging mode, all of that shit that goes along with it. And you have to believe in yourself to overcome yourself. And once you do that, I'm telling you, your whole world changes, man. You got to be just as passionate about saving yourself because nobody's coming to save you.
Okay, if today you could speak to a younger Craig, what would you tell him prior to 9/11? Would you change
Prior,
anything? Would you still go running in?
yeah, that's just who I am.
Put a face mask on or something.
Well, I had a respirator and that didn't do anything, man. That didn't do anything.
Okay, what gives you hope today?
Gives me hope.
Yeah,
Like hopium, nothing. All the faith in the world I have in myself.
excellent. Okay, are you still on medication, etc.?
No, I stopped taking shit years ago. I just refuse to. I created a drink for the cancer industry. I I moved to Mexico, right? So I had this little curve with tacos and tequila and stuff like that as well as I was getting healthy. So
So how long were you in Mexico?
I'm still in Mexico.
Okay, so you went there when? Just after 9/11, so what,
Yeah.
2001?
So after 9/11. So after the collapse of the real estate market in 2008, we came down here in 2009 for 7 years. I actually raised my daughter down here in Merida, and then we
Wow.
went back. We went back to the States to launch my book and my speaking career. And once we got there, I ended up battling cancer for 5 years.
And what
No,
was the medical stuff right there? Was it good?
the medical in Mexico,
Yeah.
oh, a hell of a lot better than the United States.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. People fly in from all over the world to come here.
I was gonna say that's what people do in India as well. They fly to India to get things done
Yeah.
rather than having it done here in the UK or anywhere else, because just for the fact that it's cheaper.
Well, it's not only cheaper, it's just an entirely different way of looking at something. If somebody is in Mexico and they find out they have cancer, they don't just have to do chemo, because I think chemo is one of the worst things you could possibly do. And because what it does, it kills all the cells. Most
Yeah.
people that pass away don't have cancer anymore. They pass away from the chemo effect. And that's something, I mean, everybody's got their own personal way of looking at it. But down here, I can go to a naturista and be like, okay, I have X, Y, and Z, to be like, okay, well, take this bag, right? Make these teas, take these teas, right? And, okay, how much does it cost? It's like, okay, 400 pesos. It's like
And that's
$20.
all like natural stuff.
Yeah, it's all leaves and vines. But you can also go to, the regular oncologist and doctor if you want, if you choose.
Okay, how do you want your story to be remembered?
Me?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm a giant. I want everybody to understand who they are. Once you actually knock out that bully inside of you. See, the world is you versus you, and one of you has to die. Because in order to fill your cup, you have to empty it. Most people walk around with pride and ego, so there's no way of ingesting anything else.
Okay, so do you go back to like many remembrance days?
Do I go back to what?
Like back to Ground Zero to when they do remembrance days?
Nah,
Nah?
no.
Are you ever invited?
Am I what?
Are you invited?
No. There's tens of thousands of us.
That's true, yeah.
There's tens of thousands. I was invited to, I always thought I'd be famous for something I've done in business. And that was a laughable thing. They say if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. I actually was invited on Fox in Atlanta to tell my story. And after that, my whole life changed. I became the infamous 9/11 cancer guy.
Wow.
And that was a humbling experience all on its own, because our ego and pride says, I created one of the first online repositories of owner finance and lease purchase properties in the world in 2005, 6, and 7. So I've always thought, like, from a startup or some business venture or something. Nah, 9/11 cancer guy. And that
Fox
was a
TV.
humbling experience.
Okay, for somebody that's struggling through any kind of diagnosis now, what advice would you give them?
I don't know if this is going to be the best advice, but this advice was for me. Start taking psychedelics. Because what happens is your whole body shuts down. Your mind goes into panic mode. First thing when somebody says, "Oh, you have cancer," I'm gonna die.
You
That's
start
like one of
flipping
the
out,
first
yeah.
things. You start flipping out. However, if you take some shrooms for a little bit, and you'll get over that meanness in your head. Because what you're going to do, and then what happens with cancer is you'd be really surprised how many people walk away from you because you're no longer fun, or they don't want to see you sick. And these are the people that are around you all the time. And it's just like, well, what did I do? Like, what did I do to deserve this? And I used to say to myself, I can't believe this is happening to me. Then I started to realize this, especially post. It's like, I'm really glad it happened for me, because my life exponentially changed, like, ridiculously. I speak all over the
Crazy.
world that I don't even have to leave my living room.
So where else have you spoken?
Everywhere. Italy, Germany, Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
You know, I get on podcasts all the time to talk about, you know, cancer and resiliency and how to overcome your stinking thinking, and to be a leader in your life. You have to become that monster, that giant. You know, anytime I run into an obstacle now, there's two things that I say. One, I don't have cancer. And two, this is nothing to a giant. And that's the way I look at my obstacles now. Because I
So what was
understand
that?
what pain, misery, and suffering is.
Yeah. What was that feeling like when they told you that you've recovered now, or is it called remission?
No. I don't believe in any of that crap.
No,
I
but when
I still have shadows on my lungs that I have to chase. I don't get CT scans anymore, MRIs, X-rays. I don't go to the oncologist. I did all of that for years. I'm already past my expiration date. So why am I going to go back to them? Because they'll always find something.
they're gonna make you feel worse.
Yeah, they'll always find something, and they'll always want to put you on some kind of drug. It's like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm going out the way I want.
100%. Okay, so what does strength really mean to you now?
What is what?
Strength.
Strength?
Yeah.
Believing in yourself. Understand that we're all geniuses. We're all gods within, light seeking the human experience. I believe all the things that I've been through have brought me to where I am right now. I'm here to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. I don't put up on any shit anymore. I
So
refuse
obviously,
to.
like with 9/11, you get. I know you're mostly not allowed to say, but you get a lot of conspiracy theories. Do you believe in any of them?
All of them. All of them.
Okay.
Listen, there's so many things that went away after 9/11. Nobody ever hears of Enron anymore.
It's true.
I don't even look at it as conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory simply is something that's eventually going to happen, probably 6 months after, right?
So have you been back to Ground Zero since you moved to Mexico?
Oh, I have been, but just not for ceremonies and stuff. I mean, I've walked around, I've sat, I've
You moved
cried.
around? That must have brought some flashbacks back, huh?
Yeah, but then you have to learn how to control them. Now I've gone. Last time I went back to Jersey, I went there. I was just like walking around eating a hot dog. It's like, yeah, all right. What a waste of real estate.
So where did you get your name from, the Sherman of Jersey?
I created that because I've alchemized everything in my life, right? And I believe, like, when you really sit in your darkness, man, I was in dark for years. You know, just years not believing in myself as I was battling this stuff. Because I also have other ailments, you know, that, like, my throat literally can shut down anytime it wants. I can be talking, eating, drinking, and it'll just close. That's excruciating pain. I have GERDs. The PTSD, no, I don't have an emotional attachment to things. And this is the reason why I tell my story. Because it doesn't matter what story you have. It's the emotional attachment to the story. And once you start digging into you, it becomes quite cathartic. You start cleaning out your closet, man.
Do people ever tell you not to tell your story, to keep your mouth shut? Yeah.
I tell them to fuck off. My story, nobody else's, man.
100%, definitely. Okay, I've watched you that. So when you're at Ground Zero, did you start choking at the time? And then you got taken to the hospital?
It wasn't so much choking. None of that stuff, man. It was just you're just breathing in air that is so toxic. Like, my job, I was on a bucket brigade. And it was like, I didn't even know what all these buckets were for until I found out that it was one bucket at a time. That's the way you cleaned the site. And I was also running a Bobcat, a front end loader, you know, just pushing papers and just dust, you know. Yeah, it was a wild experience.
Okay, before my last question, why is it important that you share your story with everyone?
Because I want people to understand who they are, man. I want people to understand that you are entirely different than who you believe you are right now. Because if you're stuck in your life, right, it's you versus you, and one of you needs to die. If you're going to be stuck, you're going to be stuck forever until you start working on your dark side, your shadow side. And we all have it. We all have it, man. That's what we're designed for. We're designed to get over us thinking.
Definitely. Okay, and before we go, you've been fantastic. Did you manage to get me a nomination?
I'm still trying to understand what that is. A
Okay,
nomination.
somebody in your network. So it could be your natural herb doctor to come on and just
Oh,
talk about.
to come onto your show?
Yeah.
Man, I'll send you a list.
Oh,
I'll send
fantastic!
you a list.
Brilliant.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah. I didn't understand what it was. I was like, wait, are we getting awards?
Nominated. But Craig, I just want to say thank you. You're extremely brave, and all the best. Carry on with your recovery, and hopefully one day you'll be 100%.
Yeah, well, it's a different
Yeah.
lottery.
All the best, my friend. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the
Cheers,
opportunity.
guys.